Welcome back to Reliving Retro. How we doing, boys?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
I thought you forgot for a second.
No. I am very forgetful, but I did not forget that.
That's great. That is great news. All right. So how was everybody's week?
It was good. It was eventful.
Yeah.
Mine was real quick. I don't know about anybody else's.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. Yeah.
Seemed pretty quick.
It was a week, though. You know,
Same, I don't know.
it was a full week.
We were supposed to be playing MediEvil for the PS1 this week. Did you guys play it?
Yes.
Yeah, I played it kind of a lot.
How many hours did you put into it?
I think 6, almost 7. I think.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
How many did you put into it, buddy?
Maybe three, maybe.
Yeah, I put probably 3.5, 4 hours into it. I wanted to try and beat every single game that we played.
Yeah.
This was not one of them. I didn't beat this game, unfortunately. I was 2 for 2, and then Meatloaf says 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So
That's true. You know.
I was also 2 for 2, but I am still going to beat it though. I got a late jump on it to begin with, so I am going to beat it because this is one of my all-time favorites.
yeah, Trev, you had some emulator issues, huh?
Yeah, I mean it didn't go great. I started with the emulator process on Sunday, and then I went through 3 emulators. 3 emulators I went through before I got to the one that
I did. I think I went through 3 too before.
So, I mean, I finally got one, and that's the one I'm going to use for all the PS1 games.
Yeah.
I think I got the system down now. Rigney had to literally walk me through it like he was holding my hand.
It was over the phone. It wasn't literal.
But it was text over the phone.
Once I got mine working, I just kept the window open, never closed it.
You
'Cause
were
I
way
wasn't-
too afraid.
I didn't trust any of it. But then it crashed. It crashed on me this morning. I was trying to get through the rest of the game. It crashed on me, but
Did it crash on you at like a really bad part? Or it wasn't that bad.
it was when one of the talking gargoyle heads was trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like the text came up, but there was no sound, and it wouldn't let me skip through
Oh,
that.
that sucks. Wait,
But I figured out how to.
but it wasn't at like a part where like you hadn't just saved or anything?
It took me back a little bit, but not that much.
Oh, okay.
I think I was replaying a level anyways.
So
Gotcha.
this game is... I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now that on top of the paper... Wait, nope, I was in week 1. I wrote Goat List.
Oh
Yeah.
I understand that you two, and
What?
maybe Rigney...
Whose list is that?
It's my list. Maybe Rigney more than Yaiser aren't going to like this game as much as I am, or if at all, which is fine. I understand. But this game brought back all of the feels. Like the minute I got it up and running, and I was playing WASD and keyboard.
Oh, wow.
Or
okay.
number pad, I mean, like
Nice.
this. So it was as soon as the PlayStation loading screen hit, I almost passed.
Yeah.
I almost passed out. I was
Once
like,
I finally got it to work.
yeah, it was
Oh yeah,
Wednesday night.
that
whatever.
was super nostalgic. Hitting
Yeah.
that old PS1 boot up.
Even though I have it as an alarm to wake up to on my phone, just actually seeing it on the screen again was just it was like music to my ears. And then watching the whole intro movie of the game, and then the screen where it's load or start a new game, dude, it's just I didn't even do anything in the first 10 minutes of this. I was just looking at the screen of my computer.
And you were just like, we made a good choice.
I was in my glory. So and the reason I started it that way is because my ratings are going to be inflated. I'm just letting you know now, so you don't think this is some.
That's fair.
Especially since I've been pretty harsh in the last 2 games. Maybe not Wild Guns. I was harsh on Super Mario Bros. But
Yeah, I think I was too. But just so you know, I really enjoyed all those first explaining the story cutscenes right before even.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, I'm down for this.
you never played this game before?
No, never.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my first time.
Did you play this game before?
I had played it maybe a demo disc or something like that, or when I've gone to Hoz's house before, and he's had it, I might have just been oh, let me try kind of deal. You know what I mean? Play a little bit of a level or something. I've never sat down and tried to play through this game before, so basically it was my first experience with the
I've
game.
never made it. So I first experienced it on a demo disc,
Yeah.
which were huge back when PlayStation PS1 came out.
Yeah, they were.
I first played it on the demo disc, and then because I love the game so much, I begged my mother to go out and get it. So I actually had the game, but I never beat it, which is why even though I didn't beat it this week, I'm determined to do. What is happening over there?
This is knocking over
dropped
every
the
can.
camera.
I'm determined to beat it. So like I ran out of time, and obviously I'm going to put my energy into the game this week, but I will be beating MediEvil. Here.
Cool. All right. I'll do it too. And we'll talk about it. And we'll give it
All right.
a short one on
What,
next week's episode.
what's funny is because like I was thinking sort of the same thing, is that just because I want to beat every game that we review,
Yeah.
like I probably will go back and try to finish
I
this.
feel like I'm fairly close.
Yeah.
So I don't
You said
think it'll
probably
take-
like 7 or 8 levels or something
I
like
think
that.
I got,
right?
7 or 8 left. So,
How many hours do you think it takes to? Because the reason I asked you guys is because you've made it the furthest, I think, so far out of the three of us.
I think 9 or 10 gameplay hours could
It
do
takes about 9 or 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I looked it up when we first pulled this on the randomizer, and it said that if you know what you're doing and you know where you're going, like it's not your first playthrough, then this game shouldn't be really any longer than 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
However, if it's your first playthrough, it's more like 9 or 10.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I feel like that's
I didn't beat it
pretty
as a
accurate.
kid, so this is like almost like a video game bucket list kind of thing. I need to beat this game. It's
Right.
one of my first game loves. So
Let's get into the story. Yaiser, how did you have... Oh, I guess I should reread the story, right?
Yeah.
In the year 1286, an evil sorcerer named Zarok plotted to take over the kingdom of Galamir with his undead army. It is told in legend that the champion, Sir Daniel Fortescue, led the king of Galamir's army to victory and managed to kill Zarok before he succumbed to his mortal wounds. So you play as Sir Daniel Fortescue.
yep.
Yeah, but that's not the real. That's just a legend. In reality, Fortescue was killed by the first arrow fired in battle.
Yeah. So
Oh, I didn't read that
the
part.
legend is that's what you read is what happened.
Yeah.
But you see in the pre-game movie,
Yep.
he takes an arrow through the eye to start
Right at
this
the
battle
beginning.
and dies
That's
immediately.
First
kind
arrow
of
fired.
hilarious.
Yeah. So
That's why he's missing an eye.
yeah. I gave it a 4 because of that. I thought that's it's funny.
You know what's
It's hilarious.
hilarious? Is
And like
that
that's pretty cool.
I'm going to bump it up because of that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what I had before, but I'm going to bump it up.
Yeah, so when Zarok raised all the undead after that battle, Fortescue was one of the ones who got
Yeah, because he was dead.
resurrected with that because he was dead first.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
So
a-
it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, see, Yaiser has caught on to your multiple yes. It's a epidemic sweeping the.
Yeah. I am Lord.
He can't say more than one. He can't say less than one or less than 2 yes. He's got to do like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you have at Yaiser?
I get a 4 for story.
4, okay.
Yeah. Pretty good.
What about you, Travis?
So I'm really glad that Yaiser brought that up. It was something I was going to say.
Cool. I'm glad that you guys brought it up too, because I literally looked up story on Google and was like, read that.
Yeah.
And I did not read the because this was one I didn't have a whole lot of time to get to.
Yeah.
So I was just like click, get to the gameplay.
Yeah. Oh, I would be lying to you if I told you I didn't rewatch the intro movies like a couple of times. But
Nice.
I give the story a 5.
Okay.
5 out of 5 for PS1.
All right.
5. That's okay.
That's up there.
By the way, and this is why I said inflated, right? Because of all of the games we've done so far, Super Mario Brothers, Wild Guns, this is the only thing I've given a 5 to. It's the only thing.
The soundtrack.
Super Mario soundtrack.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did give. Okay.
That's
No,
the
you're
only
good.
one I have.
It's way less impactful now. I was like,
It's
this
okay.
is the first 5 I've given.
Well,
Damn it.
yeah. I haven't given one either. I want to put that on the record right now. 5s are reserved for things that I think are all time great, like top 10 of their genre kind of deal.
Same.
That's what I'm trying to save like 5s for. So if I give something a 4.5, it's really the best it's going to get unless it's my favorite thing.
Even by that standard, I'm still okay with it, and I'll explain why as we get further in.
Yeah, you're good.
Let's see.
I gave it a 3.5. I originally gave it a 2.5, which was right on par with like Wild Guns and Mario Bros for me, just because I'm like, I get it. This guy's trying to stop the evil army thing. But when you guys explained that part, I bumped it up.
Yeah,
I do
I
think
like
it's
that.
better.
Good guy, good. Bad guy, good. Bad guy, bad.
Yeah, it kind of it seemed very basic originally. But anyway, all right. So I really do like that aspect of the story.
And it's like, it's crazy because like he knows it, and you can tell that like he gets complimented a lot by these little stone statues throughout the game, and he's very dismissive of everything they say. He doesn't talk because he's never
not very
tongue.
well.
There's no tongue in his mouth, so he doesn't say anything. But it has subtitles for him.
I was gonna say that. Like they're like, "Oh, how's your weapon treating you?" He's just like,
because he doesn't have a tongue, right? So he can't speak. But they randomly give him like compliments, and he's just like, "Yeah, tell me what I'm supposed to do." So he's just very dismissive of compliments because like everybody thinks he's his hero.
It's funny because that's how I played the game. I was just like, get me the hammer so I can move on with my life.
I listened to everything everyone had to say.
Oh, did you?
I'm gonna use this opportunity to say all the heroes in the Hall of Heroes, their accents are fucking out of this world hilarious. Like, there's one dude, I think he's supposed to be fucking Mexican, and then there's this like hardcore German accent guy, and those guys, they were funny. It was funny to me.
It's funny because I was actually going to throw props to the voice acting, but Daniel Fortescue is not great.
The statue,
right.
the little gargoyle statue heads are my favorite voices.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like you would think with like how like little a budget they probably had back then, that they had somebody different for damn near every statue head. It was just like how, or unless somebody was just really good at doing so many different voices.
Oh yeah,
it could be too. All right, so gameplay, Trav.
4.5 for me.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I base it all off of the time, and I'm thinking of all the PlayStation 1 games I played back then. There was a lot of side scrollers and a lot of like Frogger.
Yeah.
I mean, if I compare it to those games, gameplay is an easy 4.5 for me.
Okay.
What about you, Yaiser?
I gave it 2.5. The combat fucking sucks when you lose all your weapons. Like those little, what are they?
Pygmy?
Little troll motherfuckers.
The pygmy stole your sword.
Stole my sword. I had to try to. I almost gave up on the game and rated all this fucking 1 star and said, fuck it.
If you listen to the statue for that level, he tells you to be careful that the pygmies will steal your stuff.
I didn't listen to him, and he stole my shit. And so I had to try to do the next level with just my beating people with an arm. And it didn't go well for me, but...
That's pretty funny.
But I went back, got some other weapons, got some gold to buy my sword back, and I did like... I don't know if I liked it. The combat was okay. A 2.5, right down the middle.
I also gave it a 2.5, which I realize now I think maybe I was being a little harsh. The reason why I don't have like rave reviews about this game currently is because I feel like it wasn't very intuitive. I think a lot of the stuff about this game would have been such a better playing experience had I followed a guide. If I followed a guide, this would have been completely fine. However, if I'm just playing through it blindly, I found that like what was the return to graveyard level? Okay, that I was stuck on that level for days. Not even exaggerating, multiple sleeps. That's how I define days. Okay. I got to this point where I had to go back to... No, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I had to go back to the mausoleum, right? Where you fight that guy in the stained glass, the guy that comes out of the stained glass.
Yep.
Because I needed that chalice to get the... That's another thing. I read about the chalices, and from what I was reading, it seemed like they weren't a necessary thing to beat the game. That was wrong. You need those things.
Definitely.
Certain weapons you definitely need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was just like, because I read like, oh yeah, to 100% it or whatever, to get all the chalices. It made it sound like that was more of a collectible thing than like hey, you need the chalices to like progress in this game. So I basically was just like, yeah, whatever. If I get a chalice, I'll get a chalice. If I don't, I don't. Yeah. And that was probably my biggest mistake, is that I should have followed a guide more religiously. And when I do go back to try and beat this game, I will be doing that so I know where the chalices are, so I know how to get them. Because I had to go to get that chalice, and if you don't do things in a certain order, you have to redo the whole level. And these aren't like short Mario levels where you can run through it in like a minute and a half. Like some of these levels took me like 15 minutes to get through.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say that even though I've played this game before, I also made the mistake where I went up and beat the stained glass statue guy
before getting the chalice.
And I was like,
I did
damn
that.
it.
I did that twice. I did it and I was just like, okay, I beat this guy and then I can still go into that room, right? And get the chalice again? No, you can't.
I think I did that twice too.
Yeah, so then I had to restart it, went back, did everything again, but then I forgot that I burned the heart already and it came through and activated the boss, and then I'm just like double tapping the D-pad so I can run through the thing, and I ran right into the little spirits or whatever that.
Yeah, you can get by that.
No, I know you can go around it, which is what I did another time, but I wasn't even thinking that I did that already, so the spirits were just there and I just double tapped and ran into them. I'm like, no, how do you rewind?
Did you guys
like trying to rewind so bad?
In that level, did you guys give the Phantom of the Opera his new music sheet?
I did.
Yeah.
Not till the third time I played that level, but yeah.
So I did the same thing Rigney did. Is right. I thought I could just beat him and just continue on because I didn't even put the blue thing in the blue hand yet, and I was like, "What the hell? The level just ends."
Yeah.
So I went back and beat it again, and then almost did the same thing and just ran across. I was like, "Whoa!" And I just sort of went quickly around, gave him his music, went back the other way, turned the blue hand stone in, and then finally got that one because that's what you need to get the giant. What do you call it? Mallet.
Yeah.
Oh, the mallet,
And you need that, right? Because that club is a pain in the ass when it only has 100 hit points or 100 hits.
Right.
Yeah, so plus it's way stronger than the sword.
Yeah, it is stronger.
It's way stronger than the sword.
Sure.
It one hit some of those zombies.
Yeah, and the charge hit, if you charge it up all the way, you fucking blast a ton of people just out of the way.
Yeah. That was another thing. That other stone, I didn't know how to jump back up onto that, because when you get to where the boss is for the stained glass one, you drop down, right? So I'm like, how do you get back up there? It took me forever to realize that when you get up to where the stained glass is, you can just walk right out the door and go back and then go back down.
That's the beginning.
You know how long it took me? That's what I mean about being intuitive. I'm like, am I stupid, or is just like, it's not, because you can't see the front door when you walk into that little arena thing, and I completely forgot that was like that was at the beginning of the level.
Yeah,
because it looks a little different.
Know what other game is just like that, where like you have to do things in a certain order, or you have to go back and do shit again?
What's that?
Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
dude, you have to do things in such a specific order.
We should add that to the list.
Yeah, wink, wink.
I feel weird. I feel weird. By the way, just really quickly, adding sequels to lists without playing the originals.
No, I think it's okay because some sequels are better than the original.
No, I know, but I feel weird. Like if we got Donkey Kong Country 2 before Donkey Kong Country, would be weird to me.
Yeah, okay, I get that. But like, what about
like Final Fantasy 10?
Final Fantasy 1 before you play Final
That's
Fantasy
what I mean.
7
Like,
again?
we're not going to play through all 10 Final Fantasies to get to Final Fantasy 10, right?
I was just gonna say that like Resident Evil Nemesis is the best Resident Evil they've ever made. So like that's like the third installment of that game.
You're going to have a lot of people disagreeing with you, by the way. Resident Evil 4 is really, really good.
It is, but I guess I'm thinking of the older generation, because isn't Resident Evil 4 a PlayStation 3 game?
PlayStation 2.
So like, I don't know. The Nemesis game
is PS1 and 64.
Is it?
Yep.
The Nemesis Resident Evil is like what I think putting Resident Evil on the map. The first one was fine, but Resident Evil Nemesis that's the game that everybody even that ever liked Resident Evil. That's the one that they remember the most.
I don't know. I only played one. I don't remember which one it was. It was on GameCube though.
You would know.
Resident Evil 4.
It was 4?
Nemesis might have been for the GameCube, maybe.
I was say you would know Nemesis, dude. He's this giant mutant
that
pops up randomly throughout the game, just random, and he just always like stars, and you know he's coming because he comes busting through a window, and you're like, oh shit, and you gotta run.
Fucking Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, dude. It's always it's not random. It happens at certain times throughout the game.
Yeah,
and you can get to him before you're supposed to get to him and be wildly outgunned. Anyway, I don't want to get into Resident Evil.
Does it jump scare you too?
It does jump scare you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, back to MediEvil. You know what's funny? So we can go into the visuals here, but my daughter came over to me this morning as I was trying to frantically beat that one level I've been stuck on for days, and she's like, "Daddy, this game's kind of scary," and I'm like, "Yeah, I could understand that. You know, somebody of your age would be scared of this game." I didn't say it like that to her because I'm not an absolute jerk to her, but I kind of said it like that.
Now I think that's exactly how he said it.
But anyway, she's like, we should play through this game on Halloween. And I was like, oh, that would be fun to play through like some of the horror games on Halloween.
Yeah,
with
that's
her.
true.
I was like, that's a good idea. I like her.
Who, your kid?
Yeah, she's all right sometimes.
Oh,
Was it Ken?
Yaiser.
Was it Ken?
That was.
Oh yeah, it was Ken. It could have been me actually.
It
I
was
feel like we
Trav,
all
actually.
adjusted at the same time.
I didn't move at all.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you know it was me then?
It was
Yeah,
all of
because
us.
Rigney
It
just
looked
said
like you. I
Rigney
didn't
just
know
said it
you
could have been
moved
him.
too. I only saw you move. You're wearing orange.
What the hell does that mean?
I could see you moved.
He's got a point. You're very visual.
Very, very visual.
Speaking of visuals, I gave this game a 2.5. I really liked the. I really liked the just the whole like ambiance of it. I feel like they did a good job with like just the worlds and stuff like that. However, I feel like the enemies were all basically the same, just kind of changed colors. I mean, the zombie ones anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some more shit.
I was gonna say I didn't get
later.
that far. So.
yeah. There's like the little pigmy guys running around, and there's
Those.
There's
the
other
guys
ones.
that run at you. I hate those guys.
yeah, they're a pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're a
but
pain, yeah.
there's more NPCs you got to kill, different versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like this game was tough on the eyes. At least,
Yeah.
At least from my perspective, I
Same.
felt like it was tough on the eyes.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And I didn't know whether I should downgrade that in aged or visuals, so I think I kind of docked it from both.
I think I did too.
I
Unfortunately,
think I hate
think-
both of you. I have no idea what either one of you is talking about.
I think
right
I
now.
enjoyed this game more than my scores are gonna say.
Yeah,
But
I think so too.
I think it's one thing about this game that really made me fucking hate it, and I think that can go into this category, right?
I wasn't sure whether to include it in this category or the aged, but again, I kind of
Honestly,
chalked it up to
it
both.
could have went into even gameplay even. But the camera, trying to control the fucking camera to look where you're trying to look was the worst experience in any game I've ever had.
So there should be a button. Most 3D platformers, and Mario had already been out before this. Spyro had already been out before this. So games have already been able to do this. There should be, and maybe there is, and I just missed it. There should be a button or some kind of slight combo of buttons that when you press them, the camera just fixates behind the character 100%.
Right.
Instead of you having to manually try and like slide the camera behind your character, and you can only do that if you're in an open enough space where this invisible camera guy can't get stuck on a wall.
Yeah.
As I said, there are buttons to adjust the camera view.
But you
No, there
can't do
are.
it sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're in a narrow enough
I
place,
just did
you
not
can't
have that problem.
spin it around.
Whenever I'm
Oh, I
in a
did.
place where I'm facing wall, I just L1 or R1 it, and I just turn it the other way and move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does work if you're in like an open area,
it's
but
open.
yeah, but I found like if I was in, for example, the Return to the Graveyard level, there's this one area where there's like this tiny sliver of a path, and on either side is water, and you have to get to it's like
Yeah.
4 steps. It's not a lot, and you just get to like this little island where there's a skeleton guy or a zombie or whatever. You kill him and take the gold.
Yeah.
I fell off that thing so many times because I didn't have the camera like fixated behind me, so I had to like walk at like a diagonal to try and the walking is rough in that game sometimes.
I think you're going to find though as we do more PlayStation 1 games that there are a lot more like that than just this game.
Oh,
That's
I'm
possible.
sure.
That's
I'm sure.
possible.
This era of game, I think, like the PS1 and 64 games have aged the worst. And I don't say that because like they're bad games. I just mean it's the generation
The first generation of
3D.
really,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think it definitely is hard to control, but like the N64 Mario, I think that's not bad. If this is the same general time frame,
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad.
You don't think the N64 Mario is bad? No, I don't either.
No, that
That's
game-
kind of what I was comparing this to. That's why I think that this had bad controls compared to a game that came out 2 years before that.
But that's a game that I have had way more problem with the camera angle with than I've ever had with MediEvil.
Yeah, but I think that game has a button where you can just be like boop, and then it goes.
It is, but then I have the problem you guys say where it's like there's an invisible camera guy can't fixate himself behind.
It's funny because
like,
there is that problem, but there's actually a character camera guy.
he's not invisible.
Yeah, he's a real
You're
character
right.
in the game.
It gains points just for that because he's an actual thing, not just some invisible camera guy.
For sure. So yeah, I gave visuals a 2.5. What did you give it, Yasser?
2.5 also, yeah.
2.5. And Trev?
Well, let's just move on.
I think you should say your score.
4.5.
Okay.
4.5, all right.
guys know.
I'm just happy you're loving a game that we've played, because so far you've been a little lower on these.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say before. Is I have been lower, but just lower than you guys, because I feel like I enjoyed Wild Guns just fine, and then hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, I don't think I enjoyed that game. How did I not enjoy that game like they did?
And that's honestly how I feel about MediEvil. Like hearing you guys talk about it, and I think me and Yaiser are more on the same page with this one. But it's good to see. So you might just be like this demographic type of person, right?
Oh, for sure.
There are people out there, and I know because I've gotten reviews already of MediEvil. There are people out there that this is an absolute classic. It's an all-time gem and that kind of thing. And I'm just not there with it yet. But the thing is you guys also have nostalgia on your side. Like I know how I am with like Super Mario World and Earthbound. I already know when we play Earthbound, you guys are not gonna like it nearly as much as me. I already know that. I'm already preparing myself for that. But I will still go to the grave saying that's one of my favorite games of all time.
I was just say I knew, but you know what? To be totally fair to you guys in how I'm rating this compared to how you're rating this, is I also knew that you guys weren't gonna like. Rigney picked it, or he didn't pick it, but when he randomized and this game was selected, I knew. I was like, I love this game, and these two were not gonna like it like I like it, and that's fine. That's fine. This game, and I also agree with the idea that nostalgia is fueling these scores 100%. Because if this is a game I'd never played before, I'm certain that this would be like I'd be like one of the lowest again. Yeah, this is just the nostalgia is carrying me right now, and
that's totally fine.
That. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, it's totally fine because, like I said, we're gonna have games where we feel that way too. Moving on to the soundtrack, though, I actually like the soundtrack quite a bit, and I gave it a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I think it went really, really well with the scenery, and it definitely gave off the vibes that it should.
Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely fit. It was definitely on brand with the creepiness of that what you were supposed to get from the environment. I think it matched well when you got in a certain, like the Hall of Heroes, like the soundtrack changed a little. I think it all fit well what they were trying to do. I got to be honest, as I play through this game and we talk about soundtrack being a major thing that we rate, I pay very little attention to and I don't do it intentionally. I'm just not paying attention to the soundtrack.
But unless it really like.
Yeah, I need to do it more, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Sometimes it makes you pay attention to it, and then other times it doesn't.
Final Fantasy,
which is how I felt
Zelda
about
games.
And maybe there's a part of games that I'm just missing because I'm just not paying attention to the music in the background.
Well, that's how I felt about Wild Guns. Is it wasn't something that grabbed my attention. This grabbed my attention more than Wild Guns did.
Okay, so I felt the same kind of about Wild Guns, and I think I gave that a 2. I gave this a 2 too.
Okay.
Because I don't, like we talked about on the last episode, I don't think it wasn't like, oh, this music sucks. Yeah. It was like, yeah, sure, it's going along with the game, but like they're not memorable for me. They're not. I don't. They didn't stick with me.
It's memorable in that like that first graveyard you get into right out of the crypt. It was like, bam, the feels just overcame the music, all of it. But as I played through it, I'm like, oh, I need to be rating this game on its soundtrack. And then I stopped for a second. I'm just listening, and I'm like, is that the sound for this level? I don't even think I realized. So it's like it's not something I'm always paying attention to.
All right.
I gave soundtrack a 4.
Okay.
Nice.
Yaiser, we'll start with you. How well do you believe that this game aged?
This is where I went a little harsh.
Yeah.
On the game. Mostly because of
the camera.
Fucking camera.
Yeah, the camera was alright.
It's really what just pissed me off the most. And also trying to fucking jump over water. It just seemed almost impossible at times.
I can't remember. I don't. Maybe you guys could remember, but is there a shadow for your character? Because that would have helped a ton with jumping. Because I found a lot of times when I was trying to jump on those stones that you drop in the water.
There is a shadow when you're in the air.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there is a shadow.
I couldn't remember, but I just remembered thinking like if the shadow, like if the shadow was like more visible, I felt like I'd be able to tell where I was because I kept shortchanging those jumps kind of.
Yeah.
And they weren't far jumps really. It was just like jump.
They weren't. But, I mean, there was this one level, pool of the dead or pool of the something dead.
Yeah.
Where it's just
way farther than we got, buddy.
It's just all water, and there's little islands. It's just so many jumps. I found myself saving state before I had to make
Every single jump. That's crazy.
Literally any jump I would save state before I jumped.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Because I most likely was going to miss the jump a couple times. I gave age 12 a 1.5, unfortunately.
It's the lowest score you've given anything, isn't it, Yaiser?
Maybe.
The lowest I've given this game, I gave age to 3. Which is higher than any of the highest scores you guys will have given this game. And
I gave story a 4.
I gave soundtrack a 3.5. And story.
I know I'm just being bitter because you guys don't like this game and I do.
I don't dislike it.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Yaiser. I'll cry after the show is over.
All right.
Cry now.
No, I even gave, as much as I'm inflating some of these scores, I gave age a 3 as my lowest score because there are parts of it. It's very like, I don't know how to describe it. Very blocky. Like I can't stand when games are very like.
It's the graphics of that era.
Yeah, and and I understand that I played this game as a kid. And I always thought it looked so cool, and then looking at it again, and obviously I'm very nostalgic for it. But I'm just like,
right.
Man, graphics have come so far.
It's the first time you were seeing 3D, but I honestly think the previous generation of 2D games are way easier to look at than
they do.
Generation of 3D games.
To me, like NES games, some of those look really bad just because of how like pixelated they can be. Super Nintendo games, for example, the 16-bit, those games look so good even now still. Like I don't know what it is about those sprites and those graphics. They just aged really, really well.
It just looks dope. Yeah.
But this generation, even though, like I'm not hitting on the PlayStation at all. I was more of an N64 kid, but even the N64, you go back and look at it, some of these graphics are so tough to look at. Some of the games aged really well, but some of them, they're tough.
I was gonna.
I gave it a 2. I forgot to.
For age 1?
Yeah. So I gave it a 2. Trav gave it a 3, and you gave it a 1.5.
Yeah.
I do think that the controls I felt like were really, really hard. I don't know if this was an analog game or not, meaning you could use the joysticks. I think so. Yeah. Some PlayStation games were. I don't know if this was one of them. I used a D-pad. Maybe that's why I had a more difficult time.
I used my D-pad as well.
I mean, that's essentially what I'm doing too. WASD and
correct. Yeah.
And
the
number pad.
Yeah.
But I will say, the remaster for PS4.
It looks amazing.
It looks so much better. I'm sure the gameplay's way less clunky. And I'm sure the camera is a million times better for the remaster.
I looked up because I kept getting stuck at the guard dog part. It's like the second main boss or whatever, and I kept getting stuck there. And I looked that up on the PS4 version. It looks amazing. Yeah. They did such a good job remastering this game.
Right.
Is that the Two Dogs? That one?
Yep.
That was
so
I struggled with that for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually had to Google like what's the best way to do it because I'm certain I got past that when I was a kid, but I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to use to kill this?
I was getting lit up by those things.
Dude, I went try beating it with just your fucking arm.
That's what she said.
I literally almost gave up, dude. yeah, that is what she said.
It's you're supposed to use a ranged weapon if that makes you feel any better.
I was trying to throw. All I had was knives. I didn't have any chalices.
So
I was just trying to throw knives.
He keeps bringing it up, and it's a good point. I actually wrote down for one of the things I think is great about this game is throwing your arm when out of weapons is such a good and underutilized or underappreciated part of your character being undead.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah,
like how often does a game
arm off and
where
just
you're
beat
an
the crap out of people?
undead, where you should be able to do things that the game just doesn't let you do, and in this game you can literally just pull your arm off and just use it as a boomerang.
You got a weapon.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so just to run through the total rankings here, Yaiser had it the lowest at 2.5. I had it at a 2.8. Travis had it at a 4.2, and the total overall was a 3.17.
2.5 is not bad. It's right down the middle. That's not that bad.
Yeah, but my 4.2 kept it above a 3 stars.
4.2. What else are you gonna rate 4.2?
I have a feeling it's gonna be all PlayStation 1 games.
Just to compare that to the last 2 games we've played, MediEvil scored a 3.17, Wild Guns scored a 3.33, and Super Mario Bros. Scored a 3.06.
Okay.
So they're all right there.
That's probably how I would rank them, I think.
I feel like that's going to be the case for most of these games. It's
All
like
right
somebody's
threes.
going to be lower and then somebody's might be even higher than the rest, and then it's going to balance out.
And we'll be,
But every game is down the middle is what 2.5, right? So every game has been above average. Are we going to hit a game that everybody's just like, this is the trash,
Definitely.
the most trash game I've ever played?
Yeah,
we'll play really, really bad games. I think we should consider ourselves lucky that our first 3 games we played were Mario Bros, Wild Guns, and MediEvil.
Yeah, but now it makes me feel like, is there games I feel like I would know of games that were just trash, and I feel like, is there going to be...
You might not, though, because if you played those games when you were a kid, you probably liked them.
That's true.
Even if they were trash.
Yeah.
There's some games when I was when I was a kid, I loved the game, and I go back and play it now, and I'm like, I still kind of like it, even though it's like rated one of the worst games for the system. I still kind of like it.
It's all that matters, though, in the end.
Right. Yeah. So I'll just go through real quick recap. Story mode, or story category, I guess. I gave it a 3.5. Trav gave it a 5, and Yaiser gave it a 4. Gameplay, I gave it a 2.5. Trav gave it a 4.5. Yaiser gave it a 2.5. Visuals, I gave it a 2.5. Trav gave it a 4.5. Yaiser gave it a 2.5. Soundtrack, I gave it a 3.5. Trav gave it a 4, and Yaiser gave it a 2. Aged, I gave a 2. Trav gave a 3, and Yaiser gave a 1.5.
So it's so bad hearing them back now. It's like where you guys ranked, gave what stars you guys gave and what stars I gave.
But I think it's interesting. Like I like seeing it would suck if we were all down on this game, which I'm not even all down on this game. There were moments where I had fun. It was just the moments of frustration far outweighed the moments of fun.
Same.
But I think that if I weren't so nostalgic for this game, that
you might feel the same.
I might be right with you guys. And since I've been to this point, probably the more harsh person on all of the other games, that I'm sad to think of what I would think of this game if I wasn't so nostalgic for it. Because hearing the things that you guys aren't so nostalgic, and in hearing you guys be objective about what's good and bad about the game, makes me feel like if I were being objective about this game and not so nostalgic, my goodness, it might be really bad.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I'm enjoying playing it, and I do plan on playing through the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit more when I get home here.
Yeah, so I was just gonna ask, would you recommend that people relive MediEvil?
Trev?
Always. Well, let me give a disclaimer though. If you're like, hey, I want to go back and play PS1 games, I'll give you a handful of games you should play. But if I'm like, I want to play the 5 best games ever, you're not going to recommend it. But if you're like, I want to see what this PlayStation 1 genre was about, MediEvil might be at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. If you're okay with frustration, then go ahead and play it, because I think it's cool. I am enjoying it. There's just a couple levels where I almost just rage quit and never played again. But I powered through, and I am enjoying the game. So
good.
Yeah, go ahead, play it.
Yeah, if somebody asked me, "Hey man, should I play through MediEvil?" I would say, if you really feel like you need to experience the original PS1 version, then go ahead. But I would recommend that you play the PS4 remake.
It looks so dope.
Yeah,
it looks so much better.
I don't even know that I've seen it.
It looks amazing.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get it on the PS5.
So quickly here, I just want to read a review that we got from Jeff on Facebook, who said, "To my taste, I would give it 5 stars overall. Not often to see a zombie/horror game with some tact and restraint, let alone genuine creative vision. I also really loved the character. The realization is that once you love this game, there's nothing else really like it. Probably my second favorite game on the system. Glad you were talking about this game. Hopefully they make a third in the series someday, or at least remake the second. Keep up the great work."
Jeff's the man.
Yeah, so I actually strongly agree with what he said here, is that the realization is that once you love this game, there's nothing else like it. And I do think that the more I played it, the more I saw something in it. You know what I mean? The more I liked it. It's just getting past those frustrating parts. I do see value in this game, though.
Yeah,
I think I find comfort in the idea that somebody, like, I don't want to say gets gets it, but like clearly somebody feels the way that I feel about it. Is that like if you're on the outside looking in this game and you're just like, it's so hard, the camera's weird, and some of the controls are hard. So there's somebody else who played it probably as a kid like I did, and has that sort of nostalgic love for it, and it feels like this game, there is nothing like it, and I really love this game.
I'm sure.
Which is why it's good that there's 3 of us, so that people can be objective when some people aren't being objective.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
I'm sure there's a whole fucking army of people who feel the way you and that guy do.
Maybe.
There's I got another review here from AshWee2040 on Twitch. Go check her out. She said, and I quote, "MediEvil good, MediEvil hard," which I really appreciated.
Nice.
Quick and to the point.
Sometimes less word do trick.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that was MediEvil. Quickly, let's get into our random game from our Patreon list. There wasn't a lot of games to pull from, so let's see which one of the 3 that we got. And if you want your game on the Patreon list, then sign up for Patreon and put your game on there, and we will play it on episode 8. Here it is.
See the wheel.
Do it.
Ha!
That's the wrong button.
Come on.
Here it is.
No.
I feel like
It's such a long wheel.
Yeah, he's just looking for a wheel in this. Like
There should be. There
You don't
wa-
see it?
There'll be one right here.
I was gonna
it's
say,
down here.
it's down here. I was gonna say,
Damn it.
does the gentleman put the graphic in the middle? I was gonna say, I feel like Yaiser was trying to look at the graphic that's
looking
going to be added later.
Yeah. I was
Yeah, no, I think it's right there.
No.
Anyway, we got Monster Rancher 4 for the
Like an
PS2.
idiot.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't describe it like I was supposed to.
I have a question.
Do it.
Yeah.
Monster Rancher, weren't you supposed to? You're supposed to like add CDs or something to the game. Or
So,
something for
so you
this?
can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, that is a major contributing factor to the game, which you can still do via emulation. It's kind of tough, but you can. If you download more games, you can actually, when you get to the part where like you're at the disc shrine and you can take out the game, when it says please remove your Monster Rancher 4 game disc, you can go up into the menu and then it'll say take out game disc, and you can take it out, and then like there's another button that says put in new game disc, and then you can click that and then take whatever game you want and put it in,
Okay.
and then you can take it out. It's work, but you can do it.
Work.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
assuming we probably won't do that in this game, so we can probably we'll probably just try and breed the monsters that they give you off the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. We had enough trouble trying to fucking emulate the
Yeah.
last game, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a fun one. Monster Rancher 4 was suggested by Cody on Patreon, and we thank you for your money and
Thanks, Cody.
your suggestion.
Thanks, Cody.
So, like I said, if anybody else wants their game on the Patreon list, join it and put your game on there. Those are going to get played a lot more not more frequently, but you're going to have a better chance of having your game pulled than if you just put it on the master list.
Yeah, as Yaiser said, you cut the line.
Yeah, for sure. It's basically like buying the Flash Pass at Great Escape.
Yeah.
I mean,
Six Flags.
Six Flags.
Yeah,
We don't know what
Great
Great
Escape
Escape
doesn't
is.
have
Great Escape's a local Six Flags.
Yeah. It does have that, though.
that. Did you?
Yep.
Do they?
Yep.
Do you need one at the Great Escape?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes, you do.
What line do
busy
you have
days.
What line are you ever waiting
The
in?
Raging River?
The Comet?
That's
two?
Good point,
Yep.
actually.
You
But
gonna
that's
sit
the
in line-
only
you
line.
You going to sit in the Raging River for 2 hours?
No.
The
dude.
Boomerang, too, because it doesn't
That one's
hold that
pretty
many
long.
people.
That one moves so fast, though.
Yeah, it's
We're off
it
topic.
comes back though. Anyway. All right, that's it for this week, guys. Please play Monster Rancher 4 with us if you have the means, and let us know what you think of that game.
Thanks for the review, Jeff.
Yeah. See you
All right.
guys later.
Cool. Peace.